Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into my official college football week number 7 upset alert picks, where I put various teams on upset alert, and I also do have my parlays. At the end of this video, I hit on a pretty big one last week, winning over 3 Ethereum. But guys, let's get into it, starting with California traveling to Utah. And there's just something about this Utah team sitting minus 13.5. We can understand they've got a great defense, but the offense is just so bad. I actually like California to win this game outright by 6 points. I think it's going to be lower scoring. Cal does have an explosive running back. They're a feisty team. And guys, Utah, whether it's Cam Rising, whether it's one of the backups, there's really no good situation for them at this point. So I do think this is going to be a close game. Certainly, Utah is not covering the 13.5, but I've gone further, and I'm saying that Utah, even sitting at 4-1 right now, ranked number 16, I said they were severely overranked when they were undefeated and ranked number 10. I had them outside of the top 25. And it's nothing against their program. They've got a very solid program. It's just this year they lack any type of explosiveness on the offensive side of the ball. So it takes them a while to drive down the field. They had the week 1 win against Florida. I was in on that game. I said Utah would win it. They did, but Florida, turns out they're not very good, so I will take Cal in this one. Lack of explosiveness. The last time we saw Utah play, they had about 213 total yards of offense against UCLA, and they were lucky to win that game. They ended up winning because of their defense. This could be another game where they win because of their defense and they're at home. Actually, I think Utah, the last game we saw them play, they lost to Oregon State. You know what? I think, yes, that's what it was. It was on Friday. But either way, guys, I'm still going with Cal 23-17. The next potential upset alert, it is the 3:30 game. This is the game of the day. You know, they decided to put this on at 3:30. They didn't want to compete with the Notre Dame USC game, but I'm holding strong. I am not predicting an upset in this one. I do like Washington to win this game by 6 points. Oregon certainly will not be out of the college football playoff race. They just have to win out even if they lose this game. But Washington, everything we've seen from them, you know, how can you pick against them at this point? Even the situation with Oregon, the advanced analytics love Oregon. My problem is Oregon really hasn't beaten anyone crazy good. I mean, their win against Colorado certainly got overhyped because Colorado was just overhyped in general, and then they crushed Colorado. They were already 21-point favorites. They ended up winning 42-6, and, you know, it's just kind of a weird situation. So I like Washington. Washington's been crushing everyone. I know Washington's last game, they only won by like 7. They didn't cover the spread. But if you actually look at the context of that game, they were up 28-10. So they were really in control of it. Michael Penix Jr. has just been phenomenal. I think right now, in terms of Heisman odds, he's first. And certainly Bo Nix has a chance to move up. But I do like I think Washington's just more talented as well. But that does sound crazy to say when you look at the recruiting disparity, but like look at all of the receivers on Washington, their quarterbacks, some of the defensive players that are going to be drafted. They've got a really talented team, and it seems like Oregon, there's a lack of explosive plays there. There's no true elite receiver. So I'll take Washington at home minus the 3 in that one. Next, it is the 7:30 game, USC taking on Notre Dame. So honestly, both of these teams, the way they've played recently, has kind of taken the sting out of this one. USC technically is still undefeated, but we all know at some point that's going to change. They've just got too bad of a defense. And then a lot of people going in on Notre Dame in this one. They're sitting minus 2.5. We are a little bit concerned. It might rain. And if it does rain, normally Notre Dame always plays well in the rain outside of that game against Michigan. You remember that game from like 2017? But I actually like USC to win this game. And I'm not trying to just be funny and just be different because everyone's picking Notre Dame. Guys, Notre Dame is running through a complete gauntlet right now. This is their 4th tough game in a row. It's their 4th 7:30 game in a row, I believe. And, you know, USC just has more talented players. I understand you can say Notre Dame's at home. They've got a better defense. USC can't stop anyone. Notre Dame's going to be able to run the ball. The one thing I'm worried about for Notre Dame, the lack of elite explosive playmakers on the outside. Maybe that'll help them control the clock, but it's also going to, you know, force them to rely on converting a lot of third downs. Maybe USC gets a turnover. USC has the better quarterback. They've got the better offense. They've got the better coach in Lincoln Riley. I will take USC to win this game outright. And I can already see the narrative developing. Everyone's going to be so shocked when USC wins this game. Oh my goodness, USC is actually for real. They beat Notre Dame on the road by more points than Ohio State did. And then, of course, I do predict USC will lose 3 games to end the season because I think USC is bad on defense, and even though I'm picking them here, I'm actually a lot more bearish on them the rest of the season. See how I'm already ahead of everyone? Everyone is going to be an NPC. They're going to be like, oh my God, USC is actually for real. They've turned it around. And I'm going to be like, no, I expected this. And now watch USC lose 3 out of the next 5 games because they have a tough schedule. See how far ahead I am of everyone at this point. It's getting crazy. The next game at 7:30 as well. It is Miami traveling to North Carolina. Guys, this game is on the ACC. I'm kidding. No, I think this game's on ABC. This is the ABC game. Miami's still ranked at number 25. Good for them, even after the loss to Georgia Tech. But in this one, I do think Miami, in a surprising game, this is a shootout. Tyler Van Dyke, Drake May, North Carolina. I've been saying it all season, and I've been proven right. Absolutely right. It's the same thing with Utah. This North Carolina team, they're a paper tiger. They win these games, by like 3 points. They don't have a good defense. They just don't. The roster is completely gutted at this point. They don't have the roster talent to hang with a Miami team. It's going to be a really good game, but I think Miami wins that one outright there. Another 7:30 game. It is Missouri at Kentucky. So there's a little SEC jousting match here, and I do think Missouri wins this game outright. Coming off of their tough loss to LSU, they very easily could have won that game. Definitely should have covered the spread. They ended up losing by 10. And Kentucky, you take a look, they should not be ranked. There's no way you can conceivably rank Kentucky. They had 3 horrible non-conference opponents. They beat Vanderbilt, and then they beat Florida at home. And then they got trounced by the one good team they faced. And it's not even competitive. I mean, Carson Beck threw for 300 yards in the first half against Kentucky, folks. I don't know why they're ranked. I think Missouri has more offensive upside. The only reason Kentucky is favorites in this one is because they are at home. If this game was in at Missouri, I think Missouri would be minus 3.5 in that one. And then we do have an 8 o'clock game here, Oregon State sitting -5. Do I think Oregon State could lose this game? It's very possible, yes. I do have Oregon State winning it. I like UCLA to cover. I like a higher scoring game. And that's simply because of how bad Oregon State's defense has been recently. It's been pretty bad the last few weeks. DJ Uiagalelei kind of hit or miss. You have UCLA. It's tough because they are starting a true freshman QB. You don't, know what you're going to get there from him. But Dante Moore has shown really good talent. And then another 8 o'clock game. This is a weird one because you do have Duke with the Riley Leonard injury. They're only sitting -3.5 against an NC State team who did show offensive upside last week when they scored 48 points against Marshall. But I don't think Duke is going to throw away their season in a spot like this. I think they win and they cover in an obvious lower scoring game. And then getting to my parlays, guys, a lot of them have been hitting recently. It's huge news, and we've got more of them right here. So we're going to go in on North Texas. This is a money line against Temple. They're sitting 6-point favorites. We love the value. North Texas should win that one easily. Cincinnati at home against Iowa State. Not a big fan of Iowa State. Really, this is just kind of a mid-tier game in the Big 12, but Cincinnati is at home. They're -5. I'll take them on the money line. I think they're due for a good performance against the bad Iowa State offense. This is a Friday night game, or is it Thursday? Might be a Thursday night game. Fresno State, money line at Utah State. Love the value, only -2,000. Multiply that. And then how about Georgia minus the 32? Yes, Georgia sitting right now. They finally covered against the spread. Vanderbilt has been terrible against the spread this year. Georgia could win this game 47-7. That was my prediction in terms of that one. The next one, this is just straight money line. I like the value on Kansas at Oklahoma. Well, apparently, Kansas is not starting Jalen Daniels. He's injured again, so that could be tough, but I don't think Kansas is going to throw away their season. Oklahoma State, I think Vegas is overreacting to them and their win against Kansas State. You look at early in the season, Oklahoma State, simply not a good football team. Of course, Air Force against Wyoming. What a big game this is. Both of these teams could easily be ranked. They both received votes in the last AP poll. And let me tell you, if Air Force wins this game, I think they're going to be a top 20 team in terms of the AP poll. This is a huge game. They're minus 10. But I would just take them on the money line. I love Wisconsin beating Iowa. Iowa just has no offense, and they're on the road at Wisconsin. I mean, Wisconsin's sitting minus 9.5. The over-under in this game is only 36. But I'll just take Wisconsin on the money line. You can see Missouri plus the 120, so slight underdogs on the money line. And then LSU. LSU's not going to lose to Auburn. They're minus 430 there in that one. The next one, UTSA money line versus. Oh yeah, this is a very safe parlay. This is a very safe parlay. UTSA. All of these are money line, and they're all virtual locks outside of the Washington, Oregon. But I'm just going with the home team minus 150 Washington to beat Oregon in terms of that one. And then we do have an under parlay. So these three games all going under. Florida Atlantic at South Florida. Honestly, I was just looking and I saw this game and I thought, that seems like a bit of a higher number for these two teams, 59.5. Let's roll the dice. Maybe we get a rainstorm in South Florida that could affect that game. Navy at Charlotte. I mean, you're talking about just a miserable game there. We'll take the under 43. And then Michigan State at Rutgers. My goodness, under 39. Obviously, it's not going to be a high-scoring game, but getting under 39 is pretty tough when you're talking about college football. Either way, guys, that is going to do it for this video. My college football week number 7 upset alert picks and predictions. Make sure you're following me on X. Link to that's always in the description.